For decades, it felt like the global order was pretty much set in stone. The West, led by the United States, was a single unified bloc. But a recent flashpoint in the Middle East? Well, it's revealed some deep, really unexpected fractures in that foundation. Okay, let's get right into it. And really, that's the core question we're tackling today. Because for the first time in a generation, that is exactly what's happening. The refusal of key European nations to back the US on Iran, this isn't just a little disagreement. We're talking about a seismic shift with huge consequences.
I mean, the thinking was pretty simple. When America calls, its allies answer. But this time, that call basically went to voicemail. From London to Madrid, all the way to Paris, we heard this chorus of defiance. And they weren't just challenging one policy, they were questioning the whole structure of Western power.
So, to really get why this is such a big deal, we have to take a quick look back at the alliance that's defined the last 75 years, an alliance that was built on a simple but really powerful promise. And that promise? Well, it's called NATO. This is the absolute bedrock of the Western world. Forged right after World War II, NATO created the security blanket where the United States was, without a doubt, the leader and the main protector. And the deal was pretty straightforward, right? American power in exchange for European solidarity. And look, for the most part, that deal really held up. From the Cold War all the way to conflicts in the Middle East, the expectation was always unity. An American-led decision was a Western decision, period. But what we're seeing now shows that those old loyalties, well, you just can't take them for granted anymore. Okay, so let's get to the real heart of the story, that moment when Europe broke ranks. And this wasn't some quiet disagreement behind closed doors. Oh no, this was a series of loud, very public no thank yous to American leadership. And it all started with its oldest ally. What's so fascinating here is how history is just echoing through this whole thing. The UK remembers 2003 vividly. They went right along with the US into Iraq, all based on intelligence about weapons of mass destruction that, well, they just weren't there. The result was a devastating war and a deep, deep sense of being misled. So this time they're saying, not again. They've flat out refused the US use of their air bases, and they're demanding a United Nations mandate before any military action. And then you've got Spain, and this number, wow, 15. It might not sound like a lot, but it was a stunning act of defiance. That's the number of American fighter jets that Spain refused to let refuel on its soil while they were on their way to the Middle East. It was a logistical headache for the US military for sure, but it was also a really powerful moral statement.
And here's the why behind it. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez didn't just say no. He dropped this bombshell of a quote. He's basically accusing leaders of drumming up a war to cover for their own problems back home. So you see, this goes way beyond a simple policy disagreement. It's a fundamental rejection of the entire reason for the conflict, and it's coming from a key NATO ally. So when the US started talking about trade sanctions to punish Spain, another European giant stepped right in. Germany made it crystal clear. A threat against one EU member was a threat against all of them. And this is so important because it shows a massive shift. This isn't just about individual countries anymore. Europe is starting to act like one solid bloc when it comes to pushing back against American pressure. But here's where it gets really interesting. While some countries were just pushing back, one leader saw a chance to push forward. France's President Emmanuel Macron isn't just resisting American leadership, he seems to be actively trying to replace it. I mean, just look at this strategy. He doesn't just condemn the US move, he immediately announces France is beefing up its own nuclear arsenal. And then, in a move that really shook things up, he declares they won't be releasing public figures on their warhead counts anymore. He then turns around and offers countries like Germany and Poland protection under a new French nuclear shield, a direct alternative to America's. The endgame here, the big prize, it's all about Europe controlling its own destiny. So, how's he going to do it? Well, here's the playbook broken down. Step 1 is all about military independence, with France's nuclear power right at the center. Step 2, build a brand new European security bloc, essentially pulling allies out of Washington's orbit and into a new one. And step 3, the ultimate goal, a Europe that's so independent it can make its own deals with, say, Russia or China, without even needing to check in with the United States. So, okay, where does all of this leave us? What does it all mean? Because these aren't just little cracks in the alliance. We're talking about something that could fundamentally change global stability and the entire balance of power. Think about it. For 75 years, the world kind of ran on one big assumption. The West is united. And that predictability, whether you liked it or not, it created a kind of stability. With that foundation cracking, we are heading into a much, much more uncertain era, where the old rules just don't seem to apply anymore. And that, right there, is the million-dollar question hanging over all of this. This European rebellion over Iran might not be the cause, but it's a massive symptom of a world that's changing fast. Could this be the moment that the world order we've known our whole lives finally starts to make way for something new? And really, that's the bottom line here. What we're seeing isn't just some diplomatic spat. It's a fundamental realignment. The very map of global power is being redrawn right in front of us. The world we all knew is changing. And believe me, the aftershocks from this, they're going to be felt for decades.